Hello viewers and welcome to Laguna Seca in the Miata Spec Series event. Now I decided to dress up the car as well because that adds an extra bit of horsepower to the car, as everybody knows it's worth an extra 10. But as we start off on the line, you can see things are bottling up quite quickly. It's unusual how everybody does have different starts off the line. I had a very good start off the line, oddly enough. And I'm battling my way through the first corner right now, trying to get through and keep my momentum going. Because really, as slow as these cars are, keeping the momentum going is key to making places, to be fair. And proof is in the pudding, because we started off in P17, now we're in P13. I mean, that is a huge gain overall. Dabbing on the brakes here into third gear, over the curb we're going up the hill. We can go a little bit quicker than I did. There I was a bit more cautious about the cars in front and what they plan on doing. Now the Forza stewards today were handing out penalties like they were Haribos to children. That's the best way of putting it, because everybody got a penalty in this race. I think there's like 2 or 3 people that didn't, and this lobby was pretty full. I think there's like 24 of us in here, so yeah, the Forza stewards were pretty hot on it today. Let's come around to second last corner now. A bit more chaos ensues as 2 cars decide to go sandcastle making. That's the best way I could put it, to be fair. Breaking down a second gear, turning it and accelerating out the other side. Car on the right did get a bit sweaty on the outside. I went a bit off track, and as I was coming out of the corner, the back end twitched out a little bit, so we nearly collided there, but luckily enough we did not. Now the problem we're going 2 abreast into turn 1, and turn 1 is a corner that is quite hard to do 2 abreast. So as I go off the track with the back end stepping out a little bit, I get a lovely 0.3 second penalty. And to be fair, that is quite a small penalty, but in a car as slow as this, it's quite a large penalty at the same time. But, I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, that corner there is known for giving out penalties like anything. Me and the car do collide going to the next corner. That is my own fault right there. In reality, I should have backed off on that corner and let them take that position. But today I tried to play a bit more of an aggressive tactic, and instead of backing out as I usually do and being more passive, I decided to just send it. It's the best way of putting it, and I lost the battle, and I lost 3 places to go with it. But I will make it back. As I'm looking up the left hand side now here, Street Squid 1 pushes off the car to my right hand side, the groin, and I take that position back from them. Looking on the 200 board, breaking down a second gear, looking up through here, what is going on? Well, I'm going to go through the middle and make that 2 positions work. I'm still 1 position down from the collision I had a minute ago, so we do have a few more laps to go. We can make this work with a 0.3 second penalty. I've got to be mindful of that. If I do finish the race, I've got to be 0.3 seconds ahead of the car behind. I'll still gain that position. Sending it up here, you can see Street Squid is much slower than I am, so I'm going to go left, and they go left as well. So we end up colliding, and I end up sending Street Squid off the track. And I get a 0.5 second penalty for that. In my defense there, I was unsure of where they was going because they went over to the right hand side. So me thinking in my infinite wisdom that if they're going to the right hand side, they're surrendering that position because I'm sending it right through much faster than they are. Yeah, that wasn't the case clearly, because as soon as I got to the left, they cut off the corner. It's in the rearview mirror. A few cars went off track as well. And yeah, things were quite chaotic in this race. Now, was that penalty justified? I mean, I did send them off track, so kind of. In reality, maybe I should have braked. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think I should have braked and let that car go through? Or do you think I did the right move and sent it through and the car was in the wrong for cutting across? Let me know what you think down below. Anyway, coming over the start and finish line for lap 4, we are now sitting at a 0.8 second penalty. That's 2 in this race. We're doing well up to now. Can we get a hat trick on penalties? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not really, seriously. It's not one I want. I'm quite annoyed at the penalty system with how terrible it is at the minute. It seems to have gone backwards again. I'm not too sure. Anyway, breaking at 200 board, down to third gear, cutting that curb on the left hand side, going completely off track because I sent it a little bit too hard and turned in a little bit too late, gaining myself another 1.1 second penalty. Now that is quite damaging. That is quite a lot. considering I lost more time than I gained for going off track, but it is what it is, and you can only sigh in disbelief at the situation. But I did send it, and I kept hold of it, which is more important, because I would have got more frustrated if I lost it and got the penalty as well. It is what it is. Anyway, looking out for the 200 board on the right hand side, dabbing the brakes down to second gear, turning in nice and early, going up the inside of these two here, and that is another 2 positions gained. We're in P7. We're doing well, and you can see on the board on the left hand side, everybody in my vicinity has a penalty. So I'm not the only one. I am the highest though. I am the highest overall. So at least I'm scoring top at something. Oh, it's terrible. Oh dear. Anyway, sending it through that corner there, about 100 miles per hour. Anything a bit over, the back end does get a bit twitchy and it's a bit brave, but it can be done. Up the hill we go, under the bridge, looking out for the 200 board on your right side, down the brakes, down the third gear, about 80 miles per hour up here, and then up the hill we go. I hold it in third gear, getting right into the red line of the rev range, because I find changing gear really doesn't massively benefit as you come up this hill. I found that the time it took for the gear change to happen costs more than just losing a bit of power overall up the hill we go. Anyway, coming out the other side, keeping on your left hand side in third gear, and then keeping left, dab of the brakes, letting it coast round in third gear and out the other side. Bring it back over to your right hand side, looking out for the 200 meter board, and hard on the brakes down to second gear. Clipping that curb in left and accelerating out the other side. The 2 cars in front are a little bit slow on exit, but we do have the slipstream. We're going to start our lap 6 now, so hopefully we can make a position on these two, because Claire's 88 in front has a 0.4 second penalty, and I'm not too sure what the person in front of that has. So hopefully we can make a move on them, as they do go a bit squirrely through there. They managed to hold on to it, which was quite shocking really. I didn't think they'll hold on to it. Oh, there's a ghost. Anyway, coming up on the right hand side, you can see these two are going to start fighting, and hopefully one of them will send the other one off, but that was not the case. We overtake P6 now. We are now in P6 ourselves, so they had a 1.1 second penalty. That's quite a lot. Anyway, I still got to find 2 seconds if I do overtake these two on the last lap, if I to keep that position. So really, in overtaking, unless I can find 2 seconds, is all in vain really, which is a shame. But I've overtaken them, which what counts in essence. Anyway, breaking down the third gear, getting a bit close to the Mazda in front, coming over to the right hand side, and looking out for a 200 board, braking down the second gear. I'm hoping they take this turn in sharp, but they don't. They take it late, and we all come together quite confused about the situation. Luckily enough though, I get a better run out of that corner, gain that position, so I'm in P5, but I do have that penalty, as well as they are quite close to me. So what do I get overall? We have P7, which isn't too bad considering I started off in P17. That's 10 places gained. Now, the next race is at Lime Rock Park, and that was a blast of a race. But before we get there, I'd just like to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good and Jeffrey Anderson. Thank you very much, guys. And now on to Lime Rock Park. Now, again, in my infinite wisdom, I decided not to qualify, so I'm pretty much at the back of the pack. I also didn't practice, so I didn't do any practice laps in this car. So the first lap I do in here is going to be more gauging what is around. See, the car on my left hand side is ghosting and coming out of ghost. I'm not too sure what was going on there. Coming up the inside of the green machine right here, and that is very green. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, I'm sure if they could have painted the tyres green, they would have. Great choice of colour though, I would like to say, because I've got green as perfect choice. Anyway, come around the second corner, we have gained a few places. We're now in P11. Look at the inside of here. Car on my right goes a bit iffy all over the shop, and I get a lovely 1 second penalty for that, because the car on my right was twitching around and turned into me, and we came, well, it didn't turn into me, we came into each other because I sort of straightened them out to an essence, and I got a 1 second penalty for that. So if you've been in that situation before, hit that like button, because that is totally fair and justified. Anyway, we are now in P9. P9 position already. Car goes off track, comes back on straight in front of me, and I think they have a ping issue because they're pinging around everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to keep to my right hand side, stay away from them because I don't want to be any party of that. Looking out for the, well, I braked quite early here to be fair. Hopefully the car on my left hand side is nowhere near to be seen. There they are. And coming around this corner now. So I'm gauging my braking points in this car. Looking on the darker part of the track, coasting it around in third gear, rubbing that curb on your left hand side, pulling it back over to your left and flicking it back over to your right. And then accelerating out flat out down through here. We're going to send it down through here. We are in P8 position, massively gaining on the car behind. In fourth gear, let it coast around here, half throttle on, and then full throttle as you straighten back up the other side. Coming through into this next corner now, I'll drop it down into third gear, have the engine rotate the car a bit more, and accelerate down this hill. I use the engine more for rotation than the brakes because it doesn't unsettle the car as much. It's much easier to keep the car balanced if you use the engine for rotation. That's the better way of trying to say what I'm trying to say. Anyway, moving on. Looking out for the 100 board, braking just beside it, down to third gear, let the car coast round onto the darker part of the track, and then coming around here again. You can do it on one full swoop. It's a beautiful corner if you get it just right. Letting off the throttle as we coast around here in third gear, just dabbing it on every now and again to keep the momentum going. And then over to the curb on the right hand side and full throttle down here again. We are catching up to Danny GSI 81 in front, who is in P5 position. Now they go off track a little bit, but hopefully I can get past them in the next corner or two. Or down the straight actually, because if we're 0.6 seconds away, I'll have the slipstream of that car, and hopefully that will send me down the straight quite quickly, to be fair. Coming around here flat out in fourth gear, and then keeping to my right hand side on this one because they defend that position, and keep to the left. So I'm going to send it down the straight. You see the run I got on them right now, absolutely flying down here, braking at 100 meter board down the third gear, let the car coast round again, holding the throttle on to try and balance the car again, and then letting it off in this corner now, and then full throttle again, coming over to your right hand side, letting off, and then let the car coast around this corner here, and apply the throttle a little bit more, reducing the throttle a little bit to about halfway, and then full throttle again. And we have gained that position. Now we're also 1.3 seconds away from Danny GSI behind us, which is what, out of 3 corners? Absolutely crazy. The issue I have now, I've just got to catch up to P4, which is 3.5 seconds away, which is quite a bit of time, to be fair, considering this car has a little less power than a battery operated toothbrush. Anyway, coming around the last corner over the start and a finish line, we are 3.7 seconds away from P4 position, which we are sort of not gaining and not losing either. We are massively gaining on Danny GSI behind, but I also want to try and gain on the pack in front. Doubling between 3.6 and 3.7 seconds away there as we're going through the first corner, and 3.8 now, so they are in places quicker than me, and other places I'm quicker than them, which is not an ideal situation. Somebody's just quit the race. Carlito has quit, so we're still in P5 position, wanting to catch up, 3.8 seconds away. Ooh, with a 2.5 second penalty. So if I can make up at least a second and a half, well, it's going to be 2 seconds I've got to make anyway, because I've got a second penalty. Oh, that's a pain. Where did that person go? Oh, there they are. Speaking of devils. We got P4. I'm not too sure what happened there. Must have taken that person out, or they got off track. I'm not grumbling either way. I'm in P4 position. Still 4.8 seconds away. Now, I must have lost a second because I was unsure on that car's position. This is what I'd like to point out, though. If you do go off track and you come back on, don't go straight to the racing line. Like, you're blocking everybody else that's 5 times faster than you. You don't gain by going straight to the racing line or the optimal line. Just keep, if you've gone off on your left, keep left and out of the way, and then try and use the car that's just gone past you to try and claw back a little bit of speed, rather than obviously blocking them. Just being fair, that's all. Anyway, let's come round for the start of lap 7 in a moment. We're going to about to hit our final corner. P3 is 2.9 seconds away. Oh, so would love that position. But are we going to make it on our last lap? We only have 1 lap to go, and it's going to be a minute a lap, so we have 1 minute to find 3 seconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but considering my best lap is 1 minute long, I don't think I'm going to be able to make a 57-second a lap, to be fair. We are doing okay though. P5 is a 1.2 seconds away, and P3 is 2.9, and I have a 1 second penalty. Oh, so yeah, thinking about that, if I did overtake him, I still got to overtake him and then gain another second upon that person. So excuse me sir, can you please fall off the track? That'd be much appreciated right now. As we're coming through this corner now, 4th gear, straight up the hill we go, and come over to our left hand side. We are beating our better lap there, look at that. Anyway, coming around here, touching that curb with your front wheel a little bit, sending it round. I did it in 4th gear that time, just out of curiosity, is the last lap. Coming around here now, over the curb we go, full throttle out the other side, 1.2 seconds away from P5, which is perfect because that gains that penalty away from him. And it was 1.9 seconds away from the car in front. Did we get it? We're still in P4 position overall. Absolute cracking race. But the next race we have at Mugello was the cleanest race I have seen up to now. By that I mean I didn't get a penalty in this race, to be fair. some others did, but it was actually a very clean race. Although it was a short, quite tight track if you want to really look at it. It was quite clean overall. We again start off in P17 position. Again, get quite a good start off the line. Looking to my right and behind me, see where everybody is. We're going to move over to the right hand side because I do find if you take the inside line of this corner, it's a kind of safer option, really, than taking the outside, because if you're going to get punted, everybody goes to the outside. Anyway, you can see a bit of carnage just happening up in front. We're going to try and see if we can get past this blue car. Looking to the right hand side, ultimately I back out because I don't think I'm not brave enough to go through your breast with this next corner. Some cars come together in front, and then the white car behind me gives me a lovely little boost and straight through the middle. Thank you very much, that was much appreciated. Sent me right through, couldn't get any better than that. Oh, that was brilliant. We're in P8, we're not even finished the first lap. I mean, that first send through massively helps. You see a couple of cars again going off track, and the red car does move to go round and ultimately clips me on the side. No harm, no foul. We are all still in one piece. We are in P5 position. P5. Can't believe it. By the end of the first lap, from P17 to P5, absolute blast of a first lap, and penalty free. Can't get any better than that, really, overall. Setting a 1:15 on the first lap, which isn't too bad. Obviously, you have to start and get the momentum going. So this next lap is going to see what we can do. Braking into 3rd gear, then down into 2nd gear to help the car rotate a little bit more. And it gives it a little bit of a boost up the hill because you are climbing quite a steep hill. Somebody's already quit the race, and well, that wasn't from in front of us, which is a shame. It'll come around, touching the curbs on the right hand side, and coming up to the outer part of the lap. We are catching up to DTM in front, as well as Samick behind in the blue Miata is catching up as well. So ideally, I don't want to go off track here. Yeah, I went and applied too much throttle out of the exit that corner and lost 2 positions. Oh dear. Well, I'm sure I could find that time back if a bit more chaos ensues. You can see the red car in front has got battered and bruised all around. This is where I think the slipstream stopped working, because I'm behind this car right now, 0.1, 0.2 seconds away, and I'm not gaining or getting past them. I think the slipstream was broken just at this little bit of a moment. Well, what can you do? Anyway, braking down to 2nd gear here, letting it coast round the hill, and then up the other side. I go out the exit a little bit slower than I wanted. I was expecting the cars in front to be a little bit slower, to be fair. But over the curbs we go, keeping to the right hand side and having a better exit of this next corner now. And the exit speed is really what makes a difference in this car. You see I'm catching up to Mekigimo in front. I was going to make a move on the right hand side, but they closed the door, and then we couldn't really make that move. So I'm going to send it through this next corner now, up the inside here, and see the exit speed makes a huge amount of difference. So plan your exit speeds in this car rather than plan the corner in entry speed. Exit speed really determines the run you're going to get out from this car. I did ultimately back out from the corner because I did think they're going to cut across, and the last thing I want to do is be punted off into the shadow realm and not have that position. They are holding us up though, so I'm going to see if I can get a bit of slipstream again on them. Now it seems to be working now. We are gaining. I think the Forza physics have woken back up. They must have fell asleep with the stewards on this one. Looking out for the board on the left hand side, braking just after the 100-meter board, down to second gear, and we're coasting it round this corner. As we're coasting around the corner, up the hill we go, flat out, keeping to the right hand side into third gear, and go over that blue curb as much as you're brave to, keeping left, and then over the sausages on the right hand side. The sausages may unbalance the car, but if you can keep hold of it and be brave enough to do it, you will get a far better exit. You can see we're now 0.7 seconds away from the car behind, which is a huge lead already than what we had before. Now I just got to catch up to P4 position, which is 1.6 seconds away with a 1 second penalty. I don't have a penalty at the moment, so I don't have to have any more time to find. I just got to find the 0.6 seconds, and if I can pass them, try and get P3 to be fair. And you can see the P4 did go off track a little bit, so that is a time gained on me, because I am catching up to them, sorry. 1.3 seconds away from me right now, and the car behind is also 1.3 seconds away, so we're in a quite a good neutral zone. We are catching up to the car in front while the car behind is leaving us away. Looking out for the crane on the left hand side, braking down to second gear, turning in, and up the hill we go. I am running no ABS again in this car, and no traction control and no stability or anything like that, so you may hear from time to time me locking up the brakes. And that's because I couldn't adjust the brakes because they're not racing brakes on here. You can see that P4 has gone off track and has a 2.4 second penalty. That is quite a chunk. Anyway, as I was saying, that you may hear from time to time locking up the brakes just a little bit, and I do back off them because I think it's around about 80 or 75%, 80% is where the brakes usually lock up. But you can brave that area providing you have a full, your load is equal on all the tyres. If you start moving the car and unbalancing on the car, then one of the wheels is going to lock up, so that's where now and again you may hear the odd squeak. It's not a problem though, because if you can really master that tyre locking up, is what I'm trying to say. If you can master that tyre locking up, we can help use that to rotate the car. Anyway, start of lap 6. This race is going very quickly. We are 2.8 seconds away from the car in front. There's another lockup just there. That was the front wheel this time. I did brake a bit hard and probably a little bit late. 2.7 seconds away with a 0.8 second penalty. Am I going to find 2 seconds in 1.5 laps? That is the big question that needs answering, I guess. Sending it through here, 2.7 seconds. Wow, P1 is near enough 8 seconds away. Wow, that person is really moving. Well, to be fair, they didn't have the fun stuff that we went through. And this is sometimes why I don't qualify, to be fair. I like working my way up, and I like going through the cars and watching all the chaos unfold and everything. You know, I could have qualified, and I think I would have ended up by about P3, P4, because I wasn't the fastest on practice. I was more... I mean, if I tried harder, I probably could have got P1, but between pole position is not too bad. And I would have been up there as well, but then again, if I was on pole, I could have also lost it by being punted off. I just like working my way up. Coming down to start our last lap, we're braking down to second gear, coasting around, still 2.8 seconds away, so I'm not going to find that time back. Absolute shame. I'm not going to find 3 seconds in 1 lap, I know that much. Oh well, it was a good race, and I would have loved to have had a podium finish at least on one of them. It wasn't meant to be. Unless someone falls off the track, and then it was meant to be. I'm just saying. A helping hand from the Forza Lords above would be quite nice right now. Coming down through here. Gonna hit the last corner into 4th gear. Just letting off the throttle, let the car coast round. And this is where the car goes a little bit squirrely. And then I knock my computer desk, which then knocks the mouse. You see the mouse is on the screen. I have no steering ability. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? And then the car starts flipping around, so I decided to do what? Just do a handbrake turn and spin it in, because the car behind's got a huge penalty anyway, and they joined in on the party. Anyway, so yeah, why is that still a thing with a mouse? And if you touch the mouse, then the steering wheel stops working. I have no idea. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.